Voices of the Canyon, indigenous lore of Utah's sacred lands. The desert speaks. The desert is not silent. It breathes. In the wind that howls across the mesas, it remembers in the layers of red stone carved by time into temples. It whispers in the echoes of canyons where every shadow carries a story. Utah's landscapes, the arches, the cliffs, the salt flats, look eternal, but they are alive with memory. To the indigenous nations who have called this land home, the Ute, the Paiute, the Gashut, the Shoshone, and the Dain, the Navajo, the desert was never empty. It was sacred, a place where the human and the divine met. The first peoples of Utah, archaeologists trace the first human footsteps here back over 12,000 years. Paleo-Indians roamed the valleys, hunting mammoths and bison when glaciers still lingered on the mountains. Later came the ancestral Puebloans and the Fremont people, leaving behind cliff dwellings and stone carvings that still watch over the land. Their descendants, the Ute, Paiute, Navajo, and others, carried these traditions forward. Each tribe had its own territory, but all shared a bond with the land. To the Ute, Utah was literally the land of the sun. To the Navajo, the four sacred mountains marked the boundaries of their world. To the Paiute, the desert, springs, and rivers held spirits to be respected. For them, survival was not just about food and shelter. It was about balance with the land itself, creation stories, and the trickster. In Navajo tradition, the people did not begin here. They journeyed upward through worlds. They lived first in a dark world, then a blue, then a yellow, climbing each time when chaos made life impossible. At last, they emerged into the glittering fourth world, this earth, through a hole in the ground, the Sipapu. Here they were taught balance, the harmony of all things, a way of life called Hujo. But harmony is fragile. This is where Coyote enters. Coyote is the trickster, the disruptor. In one tale, he steals the child of Water Monster, unleashing a flood that nearly ends the world. In another, he scatters the stars impatiently across the sky, leaving the constellations in chaos. Science says floods shaped Utah too. Massive ice age waters carved canyons and left behind the Great Salt Lake. And stars scattered above desert nights shine brighter here than almost anywhere on Earth. Folklore and science meet, each explaining the same mystery in different tones. Spirits of the land. The desert is home not only to humans, but to beings unseen. The Navajo speak of skinwalkers as those who, through forbidden rituals, can take the form of animals. To speak of them openly is dangerous. They represent the misuse of sacred power, a warning that balance can be broken. The Paiute tell of water baby spirits in lakes and rivers that cry like infants. Those who follow the sound too closely may never return. Some say these stories kept children safe from dangerous waters, but others insist the cries are real, carried on the desert wind. But even science cannot dismiss it entirely. Hidden whirlpools, sinkholes, and shifting currents in desert lakes have taken lives. What the Paiute called spirits, geologists call nature's hazards. But in either tongue, the message is the same: respect the water. Messages in stone. Utah's walls hold stories carved in rock. The petroglyphs of 9 Mile Canyon and other sites show spirals, hunters, horned figures, and celestial patterns. Archaeologists suggest they record hunts, migrations, or tribal symbols, but many align with the sun's solstice, or with Venus rising, or with the stars themselves. To the indigenous people, these were not mere drawings, they were prayers etched into stone, history made permanent. The desert varnish, a thin patina that takes centuries to form, preserved them, like an eternal library. Science confirms what tradition already knew. These carvings are maps of memory. They link human life with the sky above and the land below. The Great Salt Lake's secret. In the north lies the Great Salt Lake, the largest saltwater lake in the Western Hemisphere. To the Ute and Shoshone, its shifting waters were alive, home to serpents and mysterious beings. In the 1800s, railroad workers even claimed to see a giant reptile rise from its depths. Science tells another story. The lake is the remnant of Lake Bonneville, an ice age sea that once covered most of Utah. When the waters receded, they left behind salt flats, mirages, and a smaller inland sea. But science does not erase the legend. On stormy nights, when the waves crash and the wind moans across the water, it is easy to believe something stirs beneath the surface. Utah is not just a place, it is a story written in stone. The Ute, the Navajo, the Paiute, the Gashute, the Shoshone all understood that every canyon, every lake, every star had meaning. Science confirms the age of these landscapes, the geology of the canyons, the remnants of ancient seas, but indigenous lore gives them soul, reminding us that survival was never just about tools or shelters, it was about respect. The desert whispers still. Walk humbly, listen deeply, remember the builders, the ancestors, the spirits. For when we forget, it is not the desert that loses its voice, it is us.